Peiffert from Mi-Clos Studio. He will share some information about post-mortem of Out There. Please welcome him.
Thank you. About me. I'm not from the video games industry. I'm a creative guy who want to work on awesome project with awesome people. For more than 10 years, I've been doing web design as a creative director. I was working for brands like Cartier, L'Oréal, Peugeot, and so on. So my job was to design user experience. After, it was very exciting. What's the problem? Okay. But after 10 years, I've got a burnout because I was fed up with doing just the website. I wanted to make contents, and as I've always been passionate about video games since my childhood. So at some point, I just asked myself what I want to do, and I wanted to make video games. So I founded my own company. It's called Mi-Clos Studio. I'm the sole employee, and I have already 2 games released. The first game I've worked on was a platformer called Space Disorder, a mobile game that was released on iOS. It was funded with government unemployment wage. So for 2 years, I've got a salary from the government. Most of the games in France are funded like this way. It was made with a small SDK called Corona, a very simple 2D for Android and iOS. And I spent 2 years making this game because I didn't know anything about game development. So I've learned to code. I've learned all the pipeline from concept to release. And I've worked with the graphics and some freelancers. It was also a free-to-play. So it was released in 2012. I worked with a publisher. I was not really happy. It didn't really bring value to the project. We've made like 100,000 downloads, and we made like $200. So it was nothing. But at least it's been featured by Apple, and it was a very good experience. But you know, it was a big failure for the money, and I just had to cry alone. But it was the best experience I had in my life because I've learned so much about game development. First, I've learned to fail because you fail a lot in this industry. I learned everything about game development, all the do's and don'ts, mostly the don'ts. I've learned to reach the press, which is very important. And I noticed also that I'm not a game designer, so it's not my job. I shouldn't game design. Free to play, it's for a small studio. It's out of reach. It's really difficult because you need marketing budget, stuff like that. So I learned it's not for me. But honestly, it was not so bad as a first commercial game. But most importantly, with this game, I tried to make a game for everybody, and in the end, it didn't please anybody. So now what? I don't have any money from the government. I'm a little bit depressed, and I have a family to support. So, but I still want to make games. It's so good. It's so interesting, so creative. So. I will tell you how I came up with Out There. So Out There was my final fantasy. You know why this game is called like this? Because it was the last game of this company before they closed, and hopefully it became a big success we know today. So my final fantasy for my final game would be to make my own universe, my own graphic style, try to add some meaning in the game. And most importantly, I want to make a game I would like to play, unlike the previous one. So for this game, I met a guy, it's called FibreTigre. He's an interactive fiction writer. He made a lot of very experimental text-based game on the web, and he knows everything about geek culture and science. So we made a deal. He would make game design and writing, and I would work on code, graphics, and marketing. So I came up with a pitch to him, a very simple pitch. It was, as you see, it's an astronaut. This is the first concept art I made. It's a concept art I made before my previous game, which is about also astronaut and space. But I didn't make the game I wanted to do. So this time I say I want to make a game about an astronaut lost in space, and we need to find his way back to Earth. So I gave him this pitch and this concept art, and he came back a few days later with a story and some game design ideas. And it was awesome. It was very inspiring, interesting story, interesting mechanics. And so what is out there? Out there is a space exploration game blending roguelike, resource management, and interactive fiction. And the big thing is, like, we didn't want to add any combat, any violence, because space games, most of them, they are just spaceship firing on other spaceships. So I made like the key heart of the game to explain a little bit the atmosphere. And this visual is very important in the story of the game because it's what people remember, and it gives us a lot of visibility. Before the development, I've made a teaser. I will show you. There's no sound. Can I have some?
Sound plugin.
No, it's okay. So in this trailer, we don't show any gameplay. It's just to show the atmosphere of the game. And we've made it even before starting to develop the game. It was a success because we've got like 10,000 hits. The first week we released it on YouTube. We've contacted a lot of press, and it's been relayed on numerous mobile and indie websites. It went viral via social media, and we've got a very positive feedback from the users on Touch Arcade, which is very important when you make a hardcore mobile website, mobile game. So let's start the development. I've submitted the game to RESD in 2013. We've been selected from hundreds of games, and we've got a free space at this event in Birmingham. And it was the first public showing. The problem is that the game was looking like this 2 weeks before the event, so I had to make all the graphics ready in 2 weeks. So I came up with this, and so it was okay. It's very important to make an exhibition because it was the first public showing of the game. There was nobody who played the game before, and we've got I was not confident about the game. I was like, nobody will like this game. It's boring. And I was really surprised to see people sitting in front of the game, playing and trying to understand the mechanics. So it was really cheap to do this, and it was very ideal. After that, we went to Gamescom. The promise was to have a real booth, an opportunity to meet the journalists and some big publishers, and also it's the biggest show in Europe. But the reality is like, we were in the business area. It was really frustrating. The publisher were only interested in free-to-play games. It was not so much journalists, and I've got my work computer and iPad stolen, and it was a big problem because I didn't have any money to buy another computer. And the worst thing is like all my source code was in this computer, so I've lost the game. It was a disaster. The good thing is like we released the first gameplay trailer, and it paid off. We've got like 50,000 views the first week, many articles in mobile game websites, and this cost me €0 because I've made it myself. But should we give up? I've lost the source code. I don't have money to buy a computer. I was feeling guilty about this, and there was so much to remake. So we asked the community, and I've got a computer. Someone lent me a computer, and we even found a hacker who hacked the Android app and found the source code. So we could continue. After that, we were thinking about doing pre-orders. There are many indie games you can order on the website of the developers. But how do you make pre-order for mobile games? I'd never seen that before. So I've contacted those guys from Humble Bundle, and I told them, I would like to make a pre-order of an Android game. Could you do that? They say, yeah, no problem. It's a good idea. So they gave me the possibility to make this widget. I could put it on the website and start putting the game on pre-order with the beta access and distributable keys. Before the release, like 4 months before, we've made a big YouTube campaign because it was an increasing popularity in Let's Plays on YouTube. And we say, yeah, that would be a good opportunity to show the people, 2,000 people, to show the game. And the problem is like there's only mostly PC games on Let's Plays, and mobile games have a bad reputation among PC gamers. Also, there was technical issues to stream the game from a tablet to the system. So it was very, very tedious to contact all those YouTubers. It took like 2 months for contacting them. But we've contacted like thousands of thousands. We had no choice. Hopefully we found this little software. It's like an Android emulator, so the streamer could stream the game from their PC. It was very successful because before launch we've got like 200 Let's Plays with a total of 500,000 views. So it built a big pre-launch awareness about the game. So yeah, getting your game stream is very important, and even more today. It gets even more important than game press, because like all the kids now are watching YouTube's Let's Plays, and so we've launched the game in late February 2014. Okay. Because there's no major release at this time. Simultaneous launch on iOS and Android, on all app stores, and it was featured on all stores. So it was very, very good. We've got many good reviews from big outlets. Yeah, it's crazy, and even from the users. And Russia is the third best-selling country, and I really understand, because I'm always been inspired by Russian culture, and so that's why I'm happy to be here today. We've got also a lot of awards. So in total, we've sold like 200,000 units. The game is $4. We have a healthy long tails, and Apple featured us several times for now a year. So the sales are pretty strong. So what I learned about this is like in an overcrowded marketplace, you need to offer a unique experience to make a difference. If you make a clone of a clone of a clone in such markets, your game will never stand out. Or if you have a lot of money for marketing, maybe, but it's not what I do. So in PAX East, we showed the game on an Android emulator, and people were asking us, is it on Steam? Is it on Steam? I was like, no, it's a mobile game. And they told me, like, you should put it on Steam. So we did just that. We're thinking about a new edition of the game with new graphics, new content, new music. Yeah, like a deluxe edition, basically. We had to expand the team. We faces a lot of challenge, like green light. How do you get on Steam? You need to go through these gates. We had to port the game on a new engine because we made with the Corona SDK, and it was no way to build for PC. Also, there was 3D graphics, shaders. I don't know anything about that. So it was like a year, like one more year of development for this port. It was a bit risky. So for the green lights, we've been lucky because I just put in a banner on the mobile app saying like, vote for us on green light. And in 2 weeks, the game was green lighted. So this is the version on mobile, and this is the new version on PC. We've remade all the graphics with new animations, a new environment, 3D planets. So it was very interesting because as a graphic designer, I could experiment with 3Ds. So the game, we self-published the game once again. We've talked with a lot of publishers, but it was not really interesting. At launch, we barely had any press reviews, so I was very anxious about this. Like, no press reviews. We never sell any games. But we've made another YouTube campaign, and we've got once again 100 of Let's Plays. We launched it with 10% discount, and we've made a new launch trailer, which is important because the first trailer wasn't showing the new graphics. So we've been largely featured for a week by Steam. We've sold like 10,000 units in 2 weeks, very good user reviews, but once the discount ends, the sales was very slow. But all in all, we've recouped our costs, so it was worth it. What I think about Steam, it's like no matter what you do, if you have contact with Steam or not, the system is self-curating, meaning that everything is based on click rates. If your product make a lot of clicks, you have better chance to get featured. So we also need to know a lot of PC press. We don't know them, they don't know us. And we need to fix that. Also, our next game will be multi-platform from the get-go because we still want to make this kind of game very narrative with a minimalistic user interface. And it works very well also on touchscreen and on PC. And also I found out that Steam is now equally competitive as the app stores, the mobile stores. It's very difficult. There's so many games released also on Steam now that it's very, you need to work a lot to get your game stand out. What's next? So our next game will be will be Stigma Theory. It's a spying game, a diplomacy, management in a contemporary sci-fi setting, and it's inspired by Homeland and House of Cards. So basically, you'll be like the boss of an intelligence agency, and you have to manage your agents. You have you have to send them in mission. You have to save them when they are abducted by your enemies. And we'll try to make 1 year of dev, not more, because I think releasing a game once a year for a small studio like this, it's good. I don't want to spend 2 years, 3 years on the game. It's too risky. Also, I will try to make another activity. I would like to publish games. So it's not like a publisher. It's more like I will publish created games I really like, and I try to mentor the developers. So because I fall in a lot of traps when I've developed my own games, and I want to help them to don't fall in the same. So the first game I will publish is called Voyant Meddler. It's a poetic cyberpunk game, point and click and episodic. I will show you the trailer and then it will be over. If it's working.
You've mentioned a couple of YouTube campaigns you've launched for out there, and how difficult it was to contact all the YouTubers to give them your game to play, and were you confident that they will show your game as you wanted it to see?
So yeah, it was difficult, but the difficulty was not to contact them; it was to get feedback from them. So we've contacted plenty of YouTubers. It took a lot of time. We just sent an email with a link to download the game, and yeah, some of them would not respond. Some of them will respond. After that, I really trust them to make the content. I don't ask them to do it like this. I just let them do their own thing. It's better because there is some creativity involved in their work. So it's better to not interfere. And if they will play your game, there's little chance they will say like it's a shitty game or stuff like that. Yeah. You're welcome.
Я хотел поблагодарить вас за эту игру. Мы с сыном часто по вечерам перед сном в нее играли, потому что она очень атмосферная, создает вот этот дух приключений космических.
Can someone translate? Okay. Okay, thank you for playing.
И маленький вопрос. На чем была написана игра?
So the PC version was made with Unity and with a C# language. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have any time for a question. So thanks a lot.